Okay. All right. Hey, everybody. This is Cristy and Wes with 180 Digital. Just back to talk a little bit more about some posts that we've got going on. And starting of the new year, 2022, wanted to say hey again to everybody and to kick off some more series on some of these videos where we're talking about some content, talking about some posts, and then some other marketing and web development topics that we're going to be touching on. So, hey, Wes. Welcome back.
Christy, thanks. Glad to be here. Yeah, I'm excited to talk about this because we produced a lot of great content last year, 2021, and looking forward to what we're going to be putting out this year in 2022. But I think it's great to kind of have a look back and so people can know like what were people reading. So we're going to hit some of those today.
Yeah, so for those who aren't subscribed to our newsletter, those who are will probably have already seen it, but we posted our top 5 posts from the 2021. We had some posts that really did real well. We had a lot of people coming from all over the world to kind of look at some of the content we've had, which was pretty exciting. We had a lot more engagement on our site and had a lot of interest, so we're really excited about that. And just kind of wanted to go through from 5 up, count down. The 5th best post that we put out this year was church websites, the 7 do's and don'ts of stock photography. And that was one of yours, right, Wes?
Yeah, it was one of mine. I wrote because I just see a lot of really bad stock photography. I mean, on church websites, and I understand the temptation that is there because, but I also understand that it's not hard to do the work to get a photographer to go ahead and take the pictures. And there are some times where there's appropriate reasons to use stock photography. But there's sometimes where maybe it's not the best choice, especially on your homepage where you're really trying to represent yourself as a church. So I wrote this article really just to kind of give some churches some help on understanding, hey, when can I use it? When should I not use it? But and really encourage them to invest in good photography. It really pays for itself. So
Yeah, so definitely check that one out. That one I think is real helpful because it's there's part technical and then part strategy behind some of that. So it's good to kind of think that through when you're getting started. So number 4 was 10 social media post tips for your Easter Sunday strategy. And I think even the title, I think people could probably understand why that one was so popular this year. I think we all know that Easter is the holiday for churches that you're probably putting more of your community outreach out around that time, getting the community involved, trying to think of ways to get the community involved. And so I think that it was probably just helpful for a lot of church leaders to think about, well, what maybe have I not tried yet, or what are some just ideas so that I don't have to think too much about it. Just it was kind of more of a post to just be helpful. Like, here's some things that you can try, or if you haven't tried, here's some different phrasing that you can use. So I think that's probably why that was so popular.
yeah, I mean, Easter is the Super Bowl for churches. Okay, it is the biggest event, takes the most planning. Often churches do a lot of outreach, a lot of different things to try to increase the crowds on that Sunday morning for good reason, because everybody is much more open to hearing the gospel, making a decision. But this was great because I definitely think it framed some ideas in different ways to give people some ideas. And really, most churches, that's what we're looking for Easter. Like, what's something new we can do this year, or try something different. So definitely encourage, if you're listening to this, go on there, check out this article. Just as it was relevant last year, it's still relevant this year. And there's some great kind of tips on how to do that well. So for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good evergreen piece for churches to maybe even bookmark and go back to year over year. Like, have I tried this one yet? Which one did I not try yet? Or even to be a springboard for new ideas too for churches.
Mhm.
So number 3 on the list was PSA, church scam calls. So you can take this one, Wes, because this one was yours.
Man, this one is like a piece from my heart here because it drives me crazy. I work on a staff at a church, and it just drives me crazy how many scams come in there, whether that's through the phone or through
Mhm.
mail or email. I mean, churches are just prone for scam artists to try to get money from them. And so I just kind of got fed up with it and I said, I need to write this article just as a way to, public service announcement for churches to know what are things that you can just know right off the bat, that this is a scam, because a lot of churches don't understand maybe some of the digital stuff. And so scam artists take advantage of that and try to get them to pay for things that they don't need to pay for. And that's kind of where this article came out of, was just something I saw at every church that I've been at. They'll get these mailers that ask them to pay for a domain name when that it's from someone that doesn't even host their domain. So yeah, just be aware of that. So take a look at that article and make sure you don't fall for one of those traps that I list in there.
Yeah, that's, I really think that it's so beautiful that it was from your heart, because sometimes things are popular like that because other people are feeling it too. And so it's, thank you for writing that. Honestly, I have seen other people kind of fall victim, not necessarily even the church, fall victim to scam ideas or scam mailers that they've gotten, just thinking, well, the IRS is after me.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they
And
won't do
those things
anything.
are so, yeah, so
They
prevalent.
they will
And
do
it's
anything to
the
get money.
people who want to help others. It makes me sad because it's like,
Mhm.
well, the church leaders are looking to make sure they've done everything right, and they are looking to, help if it's one of those types of scams. So it's sad. But yeah, so thank you for writing that.
Yeah.
All right, number 2 was the ultimate guide to the Google ad grants. So this one is actually been popular for a while. So it's still hanging up there at the top spot for being a popular post that we have. We kind of wrote this because we didn't think that people even knew that Google offered this. So it was really more to be informational, and I think it's helpful to know what your options are as you're planning how to spend your money and your time, because for Google Ad grants, you can get money for free.
Yeah.
But to know in advance before there's a lot of stuff in there about what all the requirements are. So I think it's really helpful too, to not just know that it exists, but also know whether or not you'd qualify for it before you go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, it's one of those things that there's a lot of hoops to jump through. So it's not something
Mhm.
that's necessarily super easy. But if you're willing to put in the time and effort to get it, it can be a great advantage for you to help you market your church through Google
Mhm.
searches. So it definitely was something we wanted to kind of let people know that this does exist, and here's how some ways of how this kind of works and what you need to do to kind of apply for that. And so if your church is interested in that, check out that article and can get some tips on how to get that started for yourself. So
Yeah. All right. So, rounding out the top 5, the number 1 best, most read blog on our site this year in 20 or last year in 2021 was promoting church events. And this one was sort of in depth. So it talked not just about digital ways to you can promote event. It wasn't specific to a type of event like the Easter one, but it included just how to host an event, what you would need to know, and then just lots of ideas on how to promote traditional events. And by traditional, I mean like in person,
mhm.
um, versus maybe going the digital route of do you stick to more new ways of promoting your event, like Facebook posts and go lives and graphics and ads and all of those more digital ways of doing that. So kind of explored both, and I think that it was probably popular because it was so I don't know why I can't think of another word other than meaty. It was me. It's meaty. A lot
Well,
of information.
yeah, there was information, and what I think is interesting about that is, we're digital folks here at 180 Digital. Okay, so we understand that world well, but we also understand that in the world of churches and promoting events, that there is and I call it experiential, okay, marketing, which is, whether that's putting a flyer in the mail, you're kind of there's more traditional ways of interacting with people directly that aren't digital. And so I think when you're doing an event, you do both. Okay, some people might lean one way or the other, and I
Mhm.
think it's the best approach is to do some of both. And because some of it's going to reach some people and some of it's going to reach other people, and maybe depending on the event, if it's really hyper targeted, you may do one or the other. But
Mhm.
it's good to kind of have that balance of both. And so, we are always about just trying to get ideas. We have lots of ideas, want to get them out of our head and share them with our audience so that they can understand give them some ideas about some things they can do differently. And this is a great article. And, I'm glad that it hit number one. We all love a great list of ideas to think
Yeah.
about. And so wasn't surprised that this was our top article, but it's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that kind of rounds out our top 10 from 2021. We hope that you guys got a lot out of our content this year. And really, more importantly, we also want to keep giving you great content that you're going to love, that people who don't know about us are going to find us through, so that we can help them too.
Mhm.
So we would like it if you're able to take a few minutes to kind of let us know what content have we not covered that you've been looking for, that you think would help you in your planning this year. We have a lot of ideas in mind, and we'd like to even tweak some of those ideas for what's going to be best for you guys, for what you don't know yet or what you'd like to know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always want to know what people think. If you're a pastor or a church leader, let us know. So we'll link a form below that you can go in there and give us some ideas. We want to know what are some things that you want to know about that we may be able to help you out with. So yeah, give us that feedback. We really appreciate it, and that'll help us produce more content that's specifically for what you guys want. So looking forward to what we got planned for this year.
Yep. All right, guys, that's it for today. We'll see you next time.